The Claude Architect certification is the new benchmark for AI engineering, but their official mock test reveals patterns most people miss. Today, I am walking you through mock test 1 question by question, showing you not just the answers, but the reasoning behind them. This isn't about memorization, it is about understanding the system so you can build with it confidently. Beware, the official Claude exam mock test holds deceptive patterns inside. Let's dissect this first question. The key insight is they are testing your fundamental understanding of the system's role. What this means is you must immediately identify the core tension, balancing robust safeguards with the assistant's intended, helpful function. The pattern clearly indicates a correct answer that prioritizes establishing clear, foundational guardrails before anything else. You are correct to feel that rigidity is tempting. However, the system prompt is the very first layer of instruction. The pattern clearly indicates that the correct choice must anchor the assistant's purpose. Here's what's really happening. An overly restrictive opening cripples its utility before a single user query is even processed. Think of your system prompt as the conductor of an orchestra. It can't dictate every single note. The key insight is that it must establish the core symphony, the purpose and tone, while allowing the musicians to adapt to the moment. An answer that locks in every detail before the music starts will only produce a rigid, unusable performance. Think you are ready? The exam's hidden tricks will shock you. Now, this is where exam takers stumble. The pattern clearly indicates that the system defaults to parallel execution unless explicitly forced into sequence. What this means is you must command it step by step, or it will run all available tools at once. Miss this distinction, and you've missed the question entirely. Your intuition here is wrong. You might think more API calls mean better reasoning, but that's the trap. The wrong answers force wasted steps. The correct logic is lean, one precise call with perfect parameters. If your solution feels complex, it's incorrect. Brutal efficiency wins. Internalize that, and this entire question type becomes trivial. Your gut reaction is to over-engineer this. You'll try to break a simple request into multiple steps. The pattern clearly indicates the opposite. One perfectly constructed operation is always the answer. If your solution has conditional branches or sequential calls, you are already wrong. The system expects ruthless precision, not extra reasoning. I cracked Claude's certification, but the test itself is misleading. Now, they're moving beyond basic definitions to test your operational judgment. The key insight is understanding when to prioritize token conservation over perfect recall. What this means is you must recognize the precise scenario, like a lengthy, ongoing conversation where systematic summarization becomes the only viable strategy, not just an optional technique. Here's the brutal reality. Your system will face real-time, multi-turn dialogues that demand a choice. The pattern clearly indicates that clinging to every past exchange is the trap. Here's what's really happening. You must decide to strategically summarize and clear context before performance degrades, or you will fail this operational decision point. The core challenge is depth without overload. The pattern shows retention fails under sustained dialogue. The key insight is this: recursive summarization isn't about loss, but intelligent compression. You preserve the critical metadata, the intent and logical thread while shading the redundant weight. Master this, or your system's performance will collapse. I crushed the Claude certification. Most are failing a hidden trick. Now, question 4 exposes a critical error handling flaw. The key insight is a cascading failure. One initial error triggers others downstream, collapsing the entire workflow. What this means is your solution must isolate each step to prevent this domino effect. This pattern clearly indicates where most candidates lose points by not planning for failure at every stage. The core failure here is mistaking a symptom for the cause. You are not battling network flakiness, you are dealing with fundamentally invalid data. Simple retries only amplify the error. What this means is your logic must first diagnose, not just repeat. The pattern clearly indicates that successful systems validate before they ever attempt to execute. This exposes a critical design blind spot, assuming the system is ready when it isn't. Graceful degradation isn't just a soft landing, it is an intelligent decision to stop a process that cannot succeed. You must build a feedback loop that tells the user why you stopped, not just that you did. This transforms a dead end into a clear instruction. The hardest exam question isn't about coding at all. Don't think like a programmer here. You must think like a business architect. This final trade-off demands the harshest choice. You will sacrifice something. The pattern. Superior response quality directly conflicts with strict cost control. You cannot have both. Understanding which business priority reigns supreme is the core insight the exam demands you prove. The true cost of poor decisions here isn't just dollars. It's lost customers and eroded trust. The exam reveals that focusing purely on price creates a hidden, far greater expense in business value. You are not choosing between cheap and good, you are choosing between a short-term ledger and your company's long-term reputation. This is the moment where theory meets reality. Strategic decisions aren't about finding the cheapest option. The insight is that intelligent caching and proper model selection are deliberate investments. You are paying for speed, for reliability, and for predictable performance. This is how you optimize for real-world impact, not just a line item on a budget. The mock test emphasizes system thinking over syntax memorization. Every question tests how you balance constraints like safety, cost, and performance. Understanding these patterns is more valuable than knowing specific API endpoints. Try the mock test yourself first, then revisit this breakdown to check your architectural reasoning.